Thank you all for joining us today. We are thrilled to have such a great turnout for this session on the fascinating world of prompt engineering. It's my pleasure to introduce our esteemed speaker, Dimple Sangvi, with over 25 years of experience. Dimple is a true thought leader in data and AI, and her expertise spans Lean Six Sigma, predictive analytics, data science, and process optimization. But what really sets her apart in her deep knowledge of prompt engineering, a crucial skill in today's AI powered world. Dimple is here to guide us through the art of crafting effective prompts, helping us unlock the true potential of AI tools. Her practical approach ensures you'll not only understand the theory, but also walk away with hands on skills to boost productivity, creativity, and decision making. So, without any further ado, please join me in welcoming Dimple Sangvi. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Shrikant. And I hope I'm audible and visible to all of you. Can I get a quick
Yeah.
confirmation in the chat box so I know that you are all having access to your chat, because this is going to be an interactive sessions and I want you to know where your controls are on your Zoom. I can see Swati, Kriti, and Vishwanath has raised your hand. So good. So we'll use the hand raise symbol whenever you have your doubts. But otherwise, I will be asking you a lot of questions. So I would want you to type. So yes, I can see in the Q&A you have written down yes, yes, I can see Rajesh, Avinash, Jitin, Anand, Ramachandra, Kavita, Ranjita, Anonymous. I would request you to rename yourself with your correct name, because if it says anonymous attendee, I would not be able to address you properly. So you have an option to go ahead and rename yourself. If you would know it's an
And
anonymous trainer, how would you feel? Okay, we don't know whose training we are attending.
Ma'am,
So
sorry to interrupt.
yeah,
There are a lot of questions in Q&A that whether the session is recording or not. Yeah, it
okay.
is being recorded, and I'll be sending you the YouTube link also. So once the recording is done, when the session is done, so no worry of recording. Thank you. You can go
But
on.
that does not mean that you'll not attend it live,
Attend the
because the
session. Yeah.
whole purpose of having it in live session is that as soon as you have a doubt, you can raise the question over here. Recording will be available to you so that you can refer to it later on that, oh, I did attend and I would want to go back and relearn it. Many times I know from the last 5 years, whenever I'm taking the online session, the first year when we were in complete lockdown, we were all energetic to listening and learning everything. Slowly we came to a stage, okay, I have the recording now, I will see it later, I will listen to it later, and that later never happens. That is why when we have Netflix, how many of you end up going and watching all the movies that are there on Netflix? We don't, right? So we would want to sit, we keep a focus, and that's the reason we go to the movie theater and spend that 3 hours so that we see the movie end to end. Otherwise, something will come to disturb. So the next 90 minutes are blocked with me. They belong to me. So I think if anybody is pinging you, you can just say, I'm attending a session and make the most out of it, right? The whole benefit of having an instructor led training is to learn from here and get your doubts clarified, right? Shrikant, would you enable the chat option? Rajnikant is saying chat is disabled, chat is disabled.
Yeah, it is enabled, I guess. It
Okay,
is.
yes, I
So
can
we can
see
see
a lot of
messages.
messages are there in chat
Yeah.
also. Food. So if it is food, then there are a lot of people who stay hungry. Yes, breathe, oxygen, right? It is more, I can be without water for a few hours, I can be without food for a few days. You will be surprised, you can starve without food for 45 days and you will not die, you will not even be hospitalized, right? But yes, if somebody closes my nose and does not allow me to breathe, I will not be surviving 90 seconds. So similarly, this chat box is going to supply me oxygen. So it's your duty to ensure that your teacher and your trainer is alive. So you have to keep sending communication from your end to keep me active, right? So that communication is definitely a form of oxygen for the training. So wonderful. Let's get started. Generative AI. Can I get a confirmation? Yes. Okay. Can you see my screen which says ChatGPT 4.0 mini? Yeah. Right. So good. So it is going to be a theory plus practical. I would request you guys also to keep your ChatGPT screen or any of the Gen AI tools that you would be comfortable using. I prefer using ChatGPT because I love the results it is giving. Right? So we are hearing this buzzword called as Gen AI, generative AI. What does the word generative mean in English? In English, I'm not talking about a technical definition of generative AI. What is generative? Create. Wonderful. Right? To create something. And that is the beauty that has happened in 2022. Right? When they launched OpenAI for common public. So ChatGPT became available where we could generate answers. Earlier, whenever my boss used to ask me to do some research, I used to go to Google and start searching, and we used to call it as Googling. So we used to go to Google, the pages which were visible to me, 90% of the time, the same pages were visible to my colleagues as well. The beauty with generative AI tools is that they create something new, right? Just like the way, if I'm going to ask you a very simple question, right? Tell me something about yourself. All of you are going to give a different results for the same question, right? Similarly, when you go to generative AI tools, your prompt is going to be the same. The answer is not going to be the same. It will create the answer based on multiple things, right? What are those things? How does Gen AI work? How is it that it is giving a different answer to Dimple and different answer to Vishwanath, Apurva, Monica, and Pujita? Why is it not the same standard answer? Do you know that we as humans always wanted AI to become intelligent? And that is why we used to always call it as artificial intelligence, right? Customization and all those things are there, yes, but how is it getting customized? We actually have programmed, the programmers have programmed Gen AI tools in such a way that it is being taught from multiple articles. It has been reading the entire internet, it has been reading on all the subjects, and it has been taught to behave like the human mind. Now I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I want you to give me the answer in the same sequence. I want all of you to give me the answer in the same sequence. Okay. So first I will shoot the questions and then you will give me the answers. Okay. Which year did you complete your 10th class? What was your first year when you joined your first job? What was the marks that you got in your 8th standard? What was your top subject in your 10th class? What was your favorite subject during graduation? And which year did you join your current company? Now, my simple question is, do you remember what was my second question? Right. Because we have mimicked this generative AI like a human brain, many times you will find that when you are asking questions to Chat GPT or Copilot, you find it's not giving you the correct answer. Why? Now, whatever I told you, okay, how many years of experience do I have? Shrikant had given an address. How is it that you remember 25 or 20 plus years, which was told before 10 minutes, but you forgot the second question, which was asked before 2 minutes? Too many questions. That is the way our human brain is working, right? If I'm meeting up my friend, if I'm meeting up my school friend after a long time, I start shooting questions. Hey, it's been long time. Where are you working? How many kids you have? What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Then the person tries to remember few questions and they say, for this question, this is the answer. I think I forgot few of the questions. Can you repeat? Right? Too many questions too fast. Our memory is not limited. If I'm going to ask you what was your favorite rhyme during your schooling days, can you please type it? What was your favorite rhymes poem? Yeah. So for Vishwanath, it was Johnny Johnny, yes, Papa. For Sunita, it was Chubby Chicks. For Rajnikant, it was okay. It's wrong. Okay. Apurva says Twinkle Twinkle. Now you like this rhyme or a poem when you were a kid, but you still remember it. Rain, rain, go away, Jack and Jill, Coco Melon. So our brain is not limited. Our brain is unlimited. The point is we have something called as a short-term, long-term memory. Okay. If I'm going to ask you, what did you have for breakfast today morning? You are going to list it down. If I'm going to ask you, what did you have for breakfast yesterday? Some of you will remember, some of you might not remember. But if I ask you, what did you have for breakfast on 14th of July, 2024? I'm sure none of you will remember unless and until it was your birthday or an anniversary. But if I ask you, what did you have for breakfast on your this year birthday? That again you'll remember. So what's happening? Our brain has a habit of associating few things with events. Today is my birthday. So I had idli in the morning. Even if you ask me after 10 days, I will remember. Even if you ask me after 10 months, I will remember. And suppose if I don't like idli, next year I'm going to tell my cook and my mother, please don't make idli on my birthday for breakfast. I love eating dosa. Please make dosa for my breakfast. But every day, if I'm eating different things, I don't remember what did I eat. Similarly, when you are giving prompts, which I will show you practically, you need to understand how our brain works. Then you'll understand how prompt engineering works. Right? I always eat bonda on my birthday. Very good, Avinash. So next time you come on your birthday to me, I am going to treat you with bonda. So the thing is so nice, right? I remember things which I want to remember, and I forget things which I don't want to remember. You remember the first meeting with your boss, but you forget what happened in the last to last meeting with your boss. And if I say, you will say, wait, let me open minutes of the meeting and then refer if there are any action items against me. So generative AI, ChatGPT, Copilot, and you have other tools like Claude, they will all remember if you give them the context. So when I gave you the context, tell me what did you have for breakfast on your birthday this year, you remember it. Right? If I ask you, do you remember the first birthday your parents celebrated for you very grandly? What color dress did you wear? Even if that birthday was celebrated 20 years ago, you remember because I set the context. But if I ask you, what did you wear on 12th of January 2022? You will say, I don't remember. Maybe my wardrobe only has red and blue, so I would have worn one of those colors. Right? So when you are working with prompts, you need to understand that it is going to behave like a human brain because we have been trying. You remember, right? Earlier, we taught programs to play chess against Vishwanath Anand. And when consistently for 5 matches, Vishwanath Anand had to lose, we felt, wow, we have built an AI which can make the chess champion lose his chess game because all the games that Vishwanath Anand has played from the time he started playing, all of them were recorded and fed into this AI. But that AI was only able to play chess and could not play any other game. So people felt I cannot be building so many programs for so many things. We need something which is general, which is common to everyone, and which should be easy to use. Hence, prompt engineering, when I will start off, you will realize I am not going to teach you any formulas. I'm going to talk the way I'm talking to you. And I'm going to talk to the chat GPT also, just like the way I'm talking to another human being. Right? So, what exactly is a prompt engineering, according to you, based on whatever knowledge you have? How many of you have already used ChatGPT or Copilot or Claude? We give prompts. Asking right questions to ChatGPT, art of asking questions, art of using questions, art of asking right questions, and yes, asking the right question to the machine, right? It is about prompting. Many times I say, why did you not, if my mom will ask me, why did you not talk to your friend? I say, she did not prompted me with any question. But if my friend would have asked me, how are you today? I would have definitely responded. So prompt is a way of initiating your conversation with your Yeah, I will not get into the terminologies like large language models and all. Yes, it is all trained on large language models because it has been trained on lot of data, right? The how would you give an instruction to a child? How many of you have kids, or how many of you were kids once upon a time? How do you give instruction to a kid? How do I teach a child how to write an A? Yes, I use a very simple language. We all were child. So now tell me, how would you like to get the instructions? Clear and short sentence. Very good, Sunita. Show them and repeat. Very good. So that's called as a one short prompt. You are clear and short instruction is an example of a zero short prompt. Show them and repeat is a one short prompt. Two slant lines and a horizontal line. So you are giving an example of how to do it, Srivalli. So very good. So we all know whenever I'm giving instruction to a child, I want to ensure I am clear, I'm telling short sentences, and I'm explaining it in a very good way. But when it comes to Chat GPT, what do? We write a very big sentence and we say, now you do it. And then we say, it's not working, right? So remember, when the knack of becoming a very good prompt engineer is to treat the Chat GPT like a child. Give them very simple, clear instruction, right? So what are the do's of the prompt? You have to be very clear, just like the way I tell my child, right? Do this. I want you to be home by 3 o'clock, right? Keep it simple. I cannot say when the clock will start 12, when the clock. So what if there's a complex problem to solve? I will come there, Sandeep. Sudeep, we'll do that. But that complex question also, I can make it simple, right? And you can write down the complex problem to solve in the chat box, and I will tell you how to solve it. Yes, Swaroop, you have raised your hand. You can ask your question in the chat box. I'm not sure if you'll be able to unmute. I will leave that to Shrikant to handle, right? We will have to test an edges. So if you told two slant lines and a horizontal line and I did not draw it properly, what will you do? You will ask me to repeat. You will say this line has to touch here. So you told me two slanting line. So I said two slanting lines and a horizontal line. Then you will say, no, Dimple, this is not the way. The corner of the line, slanting line should be touching. So you will be repeating this multiple times. So that is the same way you will be working with prompts. Test and adjust. Specify the format in which you want the output to come. Do you want it in a tabular format? Do you want it in a bullet format? Do you want it in a slide format? Do you want it as a paragraph? Do you want it as an email? You will have to tell that very clearly. Otherwise, it will give the answer the way it wants, right? Add context every time. Why are you asking the chat GPT or Copilot to do something that you want? What are the simple don'ts of the prompt? Please don't use vagueness. Don't assume that the chat GPT will understand. Now I have a simple question. Write an email. Will chat GPT respond? Write an email. Is that instruction clear? What is wrong? What is missing? Very good. You are all saying it's no. So what is missing? Yes, the context is missing. But if I tell ChatGPT, write an email, will it give a response or not? Yes, it will give some vague response. So if I am going to drop it, now it has become a little smarter. So it says, please clarify the type of email you want to write. For example, it's a professional email, formal request, a thank you note, or something else. This helped me craft with you better. So obviously ChatGPT is evolving. It is also educating us. Ki bhai, tell me exactly what do you want, right? So I will say, write an email to my boss requesting for a 1 week leave for Diwali. I am going to my hometown. It's going to be very special for me. See, I'm making some mistakes in spelling. I'm not going back and correcting the spelling because ChatGPT understands the spelling mistakes. So I'm not clarifying, means I'm not going back and correcting. Don't waste your time. So in requesting, Q is missing, in special, the sequence is missing. Wantedly, I have left it so that you understand you don't have to be perfect when giving instructions. It's going to be very special for me. But note, I'm giving adding context over here. I'm currently driving a project which is due on 3 days after Diwali or 3 days after I return from holiday. I'm not sure how will I convince my boss to approve the leave. So I'm instead of just writing an email, I'm saying write an email to my boss requesting for 1 week leave on Diwali, starting from 30th October 2024. Okay. I'm going to my hometown. It's very special for me. I'm currently driving a project which is due 3 days after I return from my holiday. I'm not sure. Write a
Ma'am,
convincing
just
email.
a second.
Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting, but a few people are asking their questions in Q&A. So I want you to
One
please
second. One second.
text in chat
So,
box so that you'll not be told. Because
okay.
everyone is chatting in chat box. So if you send
So
questions in
in
Q&A,
Q&A,
people,
I have yes, yes, yes only appearing. Okay.
yeah. So can you please ask them to text in chat box so that you will also see
Yeah.
them
So just
clearly?
give the question.
Yeah,
Srikanth, can you open the chat box? Chat box. Okay. Okay. Most the questions
yeah.
are different. Yes. Okay. Can I request everybody to use the chat box because here I don't see more clarity. I am just seeing the messages, but I don't see any questions over here.
Yeah, ma'am. The same message I want them to please
Yeah.
send in the
So
chat
please
box.
use the
It'll be
chat box. I will just ping hi everyone. I've just pinged everyone. Hi everyone on the chat box. So your pop-up will come so you know where to respond. Keep continue the session Q&A at the end. Yes. So I have set the contents and I'm saying please write a convincing email. So what will happen? It will draft an email. So I just gave the starting date. It calculated and it said that it will be till 6th of November. Dear boss name, I hope you are doing well. I am writing to request your approval for 1 week of leave in October from starting date to end date to celebrate Diwali with my family in my hometown. This year's celebration holds special significance for me. I did love to spend this time with my loved ones. I'm aware that I'm currently leading a project, give the project name, which is due for completion just a few days after my planned return. To ensure a smooth transition and minimize any potential disruption in the project timelines, I've been working on a detailed plan to manage my responsibilities during my absence. I'm confident that I will wrap up the key tasks before I leave, ensure that the team has everything they need to proceed in my absence. Now, I would have not been able to think so much in detail. Obviously, I don't have to copy paste exactly. I will add my tone, right? And if you are working on a paid version of ChatGPT, you can train the ChatGPT to talk in your tone. But you are getting at least 80% of your content, right? Here are the steps I have planned. List the tasks. So even if I have forgotten, it's telling list of key tasks. Please, anything in square brackets, it is asking us to fill in those blanks. I have completed the critical milestone ahead of time, ensuring that everything is in place before I leave. Now let's assume that there is something that I have to tell. So I will say the testing, or let me just add, the A/B testing of the project is done by Mr. Ram and his team. They will send the report by 2nd November. I'm just trying to write the date. The uh, user testing is done by Mr. Ms. Uma and team, and they will send the report by 3rd November. So I am now, when reading that list of tasks, I am now remembering that these are the tasks that needs to be done. There is a prompt engineering training on 5th November, which will be done by Dimple, and Srikanth will coordinate. If any issue, call me. Right? So these are the 3 tasks. So I'm just going to write down 1, 2, and 3. And I'll hit enter. It will rewrite the email for me, telling that these are the relevant examples, A, B, and C. In preparation of my leave, I'm making sure that all the tasks. So it takes care of the language. It is writing it down more clearly. I can copy it, tweak it. If I feel something is missing, I can add that. Yes, no. Okay, wonderful. Right? So if I give vagueness in my prompt, if I just go ahead and say, summarize this. So what will it understand? Because you asked me to write an email, I'm summarizing the email, right? Let's just come back over here. 1 second. Right? So let's say he has dropped me an email, right? I want this email to be summarized. Summarize this. I paste the email and hit the enter. Right? So it is summarizing what has been told. I don't like it in this format. I want something new. And I think it is getting confused with the email format. So what I can do is, can you see there's a small icon over here which says new chat. As soon as I keep over here, it says new chat. So I click that, clear the chat, and I'm going to say, summarize this. And I can be more specific. What were the do's and don'ts in 3 bullet points? What should I avoid and keep in mind? So I'm just telling, summarize in 3 bullet points, what should I avoid and keep in mind? And I pasted the email, right? So in 3 bullet points, remember the branding and logo, session timings, engagement background. So these were the 3 critical things. There were actually 5 things, but out of that 5, these 3 are critical, which I as a trainer cannot miss it, right? Now let me just add one more piece. Some of you might be using Copilot, right? So I'll jump between Copilot and ChatGPT also. Right? So there's an article over here. Let me just pick up one of them. I'm inside it. Now this is a very beautiful article of HBR. There is one option. Either I can sit, read the whole article and understand it. Or if my boss has told the Dimple, based on this article, I want you to create a write-up or create a LinkedIn post. Right? I'm using Copilot. I just clicked on the Copilot symbol. This is free for everyone. Whatever I'm using now are all free versions. I'm using a paid version of ChatGPT, which I'm not using now. I'm using the free version, which is accessible to all of you. At the end, I will tell you what is the benefit of going for a paid version. Do you plan to go for one or not? Right? So, but this Copilot will work. You know who has launched Copilot? Which company? Which company has launched Copilot? Microsoft. So which browser is there for Microsoft? Edge. So that is why you need to be on Edge. If you open Google Chrome or Firefox, Copilot will not give its best performance. Okay, so can you see the Copilot symbol on the right side top? Yes. So I have Microsoft Edge, I have Firefox, I have Google Chrome. If I'm using Gemini, I go to Google Chrome. If I'm using Copilot, I come to Microsoft Edge. And if I'm using ChatGPT, I can use whatever I want, right? Because it's a separate app altogether. So I click on Copilot. I have opened up an article on HBR saying don't overlook this critical skills when interviewing executives. Now I am going for conducting an interview. I want the summary of this, or I want to give a 10 minutes presentation. So whatever is the context, I can go ahead. Create 5 slides with bullet points from this article for my 15 minutes presentation. As soon as I hit enter, you will see it will read this article and start creating the slides for me, right? So it says slide 1 should be importance of decision making in executive roles. Key findings is 25% of executives never discuss decision. So I did not have to read the whole article, and it has summarized it in 5 slides. Now, obviously, I want the speaker notes, right? So I'm going to say, give me the speaker notes for each slide. So it is telling I'm using don't overlook critical interviewing skills, and then no. So see now what happened? I actually needed the speaker notes. It understood that where will I find the speaker notes. So it says open the presentation in Google Slide, select the slide and add the notes. You will locate the notes pane below the slide. Or else you will find the notes. If you're using Microsoft PowerPoint, you will find it there. My thing is, sorry, you got me wrong. I need the voiceover like a speaker for the slides you prepared. Now I'm clarifying it. Just like the way I treat the child, I have to tell boss what I am asking and what you're telling is not same. So I'm telling I need the voiceover like a speaker for the slides you prepared. And I went ahead and changed the context that use only this page, don't go to the web. So then it started, got it. You need the voiceover for the slide. Hello everyone and welcome to our presentation on decision making. Today I'll explore. And can you see when I'm clicking, it's getting slightly blue. Let me just zoom in. Okay, if I zoom in, it's only the left side which is getting zoomed in. So it will tell me 63% of the senior executives have resigned, considering resign. From where did it get 63? I click over here. It will directly take me to that part of the reference link. Right? So can you see it has brought me to the place where it said that 63%. So it says over 500 executives. I click, it will tell me from where did it pick up this line. So whenever I click on that place, it will tell me from where exactly did it pick up the message that it is trying to show me. Because then I can go ahead and customize it. Now with the free version of ChatGPT, when you try to give a link to a website, it will say, sorry, I don't have access. Sometimes it does, sometimes it does not. So if I take this link, come back to ChatGPT, summarize this link in 5 bullet points. So it will ChatGPT free version is going to tell me, sorry, I can't access any external links. So for this, I can summarize it either if you can paste the whole article here or you can go to the paid version. Now I don't want to go for the paid version at this point of time. So what I do is I just switch to Copilot because Copilot is able to access the internet website, whichever page I am working on. Are you with me? Keynote speaker for an event. Okay. So keynote speaker for an event, which event it is? Can you just add little context? So Gaurav Kumar, you're saying that you want a keynote speaker or keynote speaker for this event. Keynote speaker for this event of presentation. Right, so it will go ahead. Yes, sorry. right? So the current page does not mention any keynote speaker and it doesn't work. So it's saying that I don't know. If I would give the context that, okay, it is so and so person, let's assume that Steve Jobs is coming and going to present, or I'll say Bill Gates is going to present this slides we created. Right. So I'm just now, because I'm already in a tone, giving exciting slides created somehow influential for Bill Gates. How do I influence? How do I introduce? Now, this is a place. Yeah. So it's my pleasure to introduce a esteemed speaker today. And here, can you see it went? I'm saying that I want to introduce Bill Gates is going to present. It still went ahead and read the author of this and said that, okay, we are going to, Aaron Michelle Fingold is going to do the presentation of this. And it's giving me the links, right? This is the reason why I switch between Gen AI tools. I'm not saying that you have to use what you want. I will just go ahead and can you see there is a like and dislike? I will say dislike and I'll say the feedback. You have to, when you are treating a child, right? If the child has done something wrong, what do you do? Yes, I need to provide feedback. I need to correct them. We scold them. Yeah, we can do that also, right? So I can just go ahead and tell Copilot, you are not understanding me. I said, Mr. Bill Gates is going to present the 5 slides created by you on this topic. So how do I introduce? So I gave a feedback. You told me scold it. So I'm scolding. So it says, got it. Bill Gates is going to present the slides you created. And it says, today we are going to this and so on and so forth. Right? So giving feedback, correcting the prompt is very important. And hence that is why we say that treat your prompt engineering as a child. So be clear, keep it simple, test and adjust, specify the format, right? Add the context. What are the don'ts? Don't do vagueness. Don't overload. You remember what I did at the beginning of the sessions? I gave you so many questions. Which year did you clear your 10th? What is the year you joined your first job? Which year did you join the current job? What was your favorite subject? And so on. I overloaded you and you got confused. So hence, this was so you should not overload, ask one question at a time. Will the results be plagiarism or copyright issue if the Copilot or ChatGPT picks up from various sources? If it is picking up from the source, the best way is to say link credit or the source is so and so and give the source. That is why whenever Copilot is saying something, it says give the reference as HBR. When I copy this, you'll be surprised when I copy that and paste it. Right? If I copy that and paste it, you will realize that it is actually taking the links and all also, which are all clickable. So when I click over here, it will directly take me to those links. So the advantage of copying it is it will give you the links also. So when I click over there, it will take me to that link. So always the plagiarism would not happen because it's always generating new content. Copyright issues will come if you are referring to any link. Please give reference to that link that I've taken up this from HBR article and so on, so that you don't get into any janjat. Or you can rewrite the whole script in your own language so that there is no copyright issue and no this, right? Coming back, don't assume prior knowledge. Don't assume that the ChatGPT or Copilot already knows what you are thinking, right? Avoid ambiguity, no confusions. Don't rely on examples. So what you have to do is give a new example every time, make it easy. So we'll come to it. So there is a concept called as zero shot prompt. Zero shot prompt means you just give one prompt at a time. telling that, can you summarize this article for me? Can you write an email for 2 days of leave? Can you do this? Can you do that? But when you are using that, you are being very clear and concise. You're keeping the context. You are using natural human-like language. You don't need any Python and so on. And you have to keep open-end directives, but keep it flexible. Now here I have a question. How many maximum variables can you throw at a prompt in ChatGPT? Calculate the travel itinerary, 2000 kilometers road trip, 5 days with hotel stay, fuel repoint, start. But here you have to add the context. What is missing? For this prompt, what is missing based on whatever we have learned till now? Yes, the start and the end date is missing. So I'm going to say starting on 10th November. So obviously ending date it will do because I'm saying 5 days. Places to cover. What is the starting point? Starting from Hyderabad in India. Whenever you start a trip, should you know where you want to go? Because this 2000 kilometers, it can make me go round and round Hyderabad 10 times. Or because it is a 5-day trip, I need to cover 400 kilometers. It will say you should just keep revolving from Hyderabad to Warangal, back to Hyderabad, go to Warangal, come go to back to Hyderabad, go to Warangal, and complete the 2000. Yes. So I have to say my destination is Rameshwaram and back. And I am going with my family and a pet. I will use Innova, or which car do you like? Okay, Artica. I'm going with a family of 3 members and a pet. Right? And what else? We are vegetarian. Now again I'm making what else? Right? So I have to add the context. And yes, I have not given very good. I have not given the budget. So it starts off. So what is the best way to avoid this? So I click on stop. What is the best way to avoid this confusion? Now let's me just stop sharing. If I'm giving instruction to my daughter that you have to study well and you have to do ABCD things when I'm taking the session. What is the ending sentence I tell my child? When I'm teaching you, what is the thing I'm keeping on asking you guys? Okay, I say, okay, you listen to what I'm telling. Have you got it? Right? So I'm checking back that are you all following? Are you all understanding what I told? Don't you think I should be asking that to the chat GPT also? Did you understand what I'm asking? Do you have any doubts? Wonderful. So we have to do the same thing with chat GPT as well. Right? So what I need to do is, because this is a free version, I'll just have to copy it, take a fresh chat. I'm going to use Attica. I will say, did you understand? And if you have any questions, please ask. Ensure that the planning is good. Now again, I'm making spelling mistakes. I can go ahead and correct it or leave it as it is. So I'm going to ask the question like the way I'm asking so I'm telling, did you understand? And if you have any questions, please ask. Ensure that the planning is good. So it says, yes, I understand. Details are starting date, starting point, destination point and return, total kilometers, 1000 kilometers each way. Duration is 5 days, traveling with 3 family members and a pet. Mode of, so I only told Attica, it understood it's Maruti Attica. Food preference is vegetarian, requirement is hotel booking, fuel repoint, meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner, sightseeing, shopping, stops for sleep. Now it's saying clarify. Accommodation. Will you book the hotels in advance or would you prefer suggestions for each stop? So I'm going to say, please suggest some good budget hotels. Max of 3K per night per room. Okay. I would prefer one room with extra bed and pet friendly because I'm going with my pet. Right. Now the second question is preferred stops for sightseeing. Do you have specific places that you want to visit, or should I suggest based on what are the popular routes you suggest? The third question, pet friendly stay. I ensure that the accommodations are listed in pet friendly. I say yes, please. Can you see for each question that it asked, I'm giving answers against that number. Breaks and refuel. Since you are traveling by car, I will plan for refueling price based on the road. Yes, please. 5. Vegetarian food. I will ensure recommendation. Great. Once I have these details, I'll be able to create. So what I did not write the full thing. Wherever I felt short words, I told short words. Where I felt that for the accommodation, I need to tell fully, I have told it fully. And I click on stay log. The reason it is asking me to log in, that this chat will be available for me to later on. So thank you for the clarification. Budget is maximum sightseeing recommendation along the route, pet friendly restaurants and breaks, refuel plan. So it says start on this at 6 a.m. Travel estimation 8 to 9 hours with break. Breakfast stop at Raichur around 2 hours after departure. Shri Puja Veg restaurant and or any highway dhaba offers South Indian vegetarian meals. Lunch stop at Balgota 4 hours after departure. Hotel Kamat. Dinner arrive at Madurai in the evening for dinner. Sri Sarvana Bhavan or Mughal Dhaba for good vegetarian food. Accommodation at Madurai, Hotel Towers, 2,500 to 3,000 per night. Pet friendly, extra bed can be requested. So it is going ahead and giving me a detailed plan. What are the sightseeings and Rameshwaram to Madurai and so on. Right? Madurai to Bangalore. While coming back, it's telling that, okay, go from Madurai to Bangalore, do the breakfast and all, and go from Bangalore to Hyderabad and so on. What are the refueling points? It has given me suggestions. Carry some water, snacks for long stretches of drive, especially more rural areas are there. Additional, make sure to bring along food, water, and comfort items for your pet during long drives. Keep stops, rest every 2-3 hours. Road conditions, most of is a highway route. Don't worry. So the summary is Hyderabad to Madurai, Madurai to Rameshwaram, Rameshwaram to Madurai, Madurai to Bangalore, Bangalore to. Now I have a doubt. If I start at 6 a.m., will I reach Madurai by night? Yeah, so it's telling Hyderabad to Madurai is, are you now? I'm going to cross question like are you sure? Right. So it says Hyderabad to Madurai is so many kilometers, NH44, estimated time is key assumptions 4 hours. Again, it is giving me the, when I said, are you sure? It is going ahead and doing it. Right? So did you get, how am I talking to the chat GPT? I also think it is. So that's why it comes with a very good disclaimer, right? Chat GPT can make mistakes. Please check the information correctly. Right? But it will try to give you a best. Otherwise, we have to give instructions. What is the distance between Hyderabad to Madurai? So it's still going with the. So sometimes it is like a child. It will keep repeating it till the time it wants to do it. So any questions? So I hope you at least got a basic understanding of how to use prompts. Any doubts? Understood that all the inputs need not be in a single line question. Yes, you are right, Vishwanath. It can be in paragraph, it can be in bullet points. Yes. So let's do a quiz. Okay, so these are some common mistakes. Are you able to see my screen? Yes. So what are the common mistakes we make? Tell me something interesting. Do we write like this? So it can speak anything. So the better part would be tell me something interesting fact about space exploration. Overly broad prompts, explain technology. Instead of that, say explain how blockchain technology works and impacts the financial services. Instead of ambiguous instructions, what is analysis? What analysis? Uh, what type of analysis are you wanting? So write a SWOT analysis for implementing AI in customer service. So don't, if I just say go somewhere, where will my child go or where will I go? Will go somewhere and come back, right? Because so that is why you have to be, or you might not go anywhere at all. So it is better that we give very specific instructions. Summarize this article. You can add the thing like summarize the article focusing on key takeaways and finding. Yes, make it very specific, make it idiot proof. That even if the child wants to make a mistake, cannot make, otherwise give feedback. Scolding is okay. Appreciating is also very important, right? If it has done a good job, I have to say, great planning done for me. I appreciate it. So you say, I'm very glad to be of helpful. Do you have anything? Don't forget to capture some great. It's so nice, right? You have somebody who is telling, wishing you a smooth. And you please feel free to reach out to me at any point of time during the journey as well. So the chat GPT is telling I'm just one call, one prompt away. Talk about leadership. Instead of that, say describe the key leadership questions that are important for managing team in tech company or in service industry or in a telecom company and so on, right? Double prompts. Explain AI and why is it useful and how to implement it. So I'm giving 3 instructions, right? Explain why AI is useful in customer service. Then describe key steps for implementing AI based chatbot. So you have to become very clear in your instructions, right? All these examples. Yes, sometimes this appreciates the prompters back based on the quality of the questions we asked. Yes. Write a report, be more specific. 200 words executive summary for implementing machine learning and marketing. What is PCA or principal component? Now, PCA can be anything, principal component analysis, but if your company has a different meaning, again, it will get confused. So say explain principal component analysis in simple terms and how it is used in data analysis. Do you think remote working is good? Discuss the benefits and challenges of remote working. So if you're seeing all these examples, you are understanding that what do we need to tell ChatGPT? Very clear instructions, very specific instructions. Yes. And just like the way I'm asking you, if you start adding this prompt, if understood, type yes. So I would always start with this sentence, right? Let me take up a new prompt and I say, if understood, type yes. This is a very great prompt that you can do. After this, write whatever you want it to do. So let's just go back to this article and let me just copy this article, right? Now it's a very big article. So I'm just going to copy this and I'm just saying if understood, type yes. And now I pasted the article and press this. What it is doing, it will read the whole article. Sorry, I thought I was sharing my screen. Are you able to see my screen? Yeah. So I just said, if understood, type yes. Let me take up a new one. If understood, type yes. I pressed shift enter and added some blank lines. I went to my HBR article, copied the whole article. Okay. And I pasted it. And I press this. Right. When I do that, it just said yes. Okay. Now what do I want? So I go one step at a time. Give 5 key takeaways in a bullet point format. So it is giving me 5 key takeaways. Sorry. Based on the article above, I want to write a formal email to my team on Fun Friday. Email should be max of 200 words. Right? And because I said it's a Fun Friday, it says Fun Friday decision making insights. Dear team, I wanted to share my learning, blah, blah, blah. And it is because I said 200 words, it gave me a very short response. Right? Or give the 5 main points for action from article in a tabular format. Can you see? If my instructions are different, my output is different. So the same article I took, I said, first you understand, I need 5 key takeaways. Then I said, I want to write an email. Then I said, I want tabular format. Now I can also say, I want a slide. Right? So with that, I would pause and ask you if you have any questions. The point is, keep it as simple as possible. And if you have any doubts, please feel free to ask. You can either raise your hand. Shrikant, if we can unmute them, they can ask questions or how it is.
Yeah, ma'am. If anyone's having any question, please raise your hands. I'll add you to the panel and you can directly talk to the temple, ma'am. Yeah.
Nikhil is asking, do Chat GPT continuously keep on learning from all the end user inputs and their prompts? Yes. Yes, they keep learning. If you go for a paid version, you have an option of not allowing it to read. Right. Yes. Ritesh, allowed to talk. You can, I'm just clicking on a button. I can see a button and you will get, yeah.
No, no, I'm
Unmute
adding
yourself,
the
Ritesh.
panel.
Okay. We have Rama
Ritesh.
Venkat.
Ritesh, I've added you to the panel. You might have got any request. Please cross check them.
Okay. Disadvantage of ChatGPT, it can get confused. What is more powerful, ChatGPT or Gemini? My preference is ChatGPT because Gemini is actually an answer. Now, this is completely a personal choice, right? You might ask me, why do you take Mumbai Express to go from Hyderabad to Mumbai, and why are you not taking the midnight train? It's personally my choice, but I've seen the quality of output by ChatGPT is much better than that by Gemini. What is the difference between AI and GenAI? So AI could be a specific task. Like if I go to HDFC Bank and ask Eva some questions, she can answer questions only from the HDFC website. That's an example of AI. A generative AI would be more generic and can answer you questions from anywhere. Yes, I think we have Apurva in the panel. You can unmute yourself and ask.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, ma'am. It's
Hello.
nice this session. It's great to learn from you. I had a question actually. I'm a designer and I use ChatGPT like sometimes for generating images and other things. What I have observed is it's difficult for GPT to understand negative connotations. Like if I say don't include text in the images, it still includes it. So I just want to know if there's a better way of saying don't do this.
So if you can, so don't include, you say you will have to give the feedback because I also generated an image. Let me just so you will have to give the context. You have to say what you want.
Okay.
If you can type the prompt, it is more easier for me to correct it. Right? So give your all do's together, give your don'ts together, and if it has generated an image, after that image, you say, please remove the text from this image. Only visuals are allowed. Right?
Okay. Got it. Got it.
Maybe
Thank you.
the sentences which are getting formed, the chat GPT is getting confused. Any prior knowledge is required for Gen AI? Yes. Learn to talk like you are talking to kids. So, Mamta, the answer is you have to be very simple in asking questions. Yes, and eagerness to learn, because ChatGPT is also constantly learning. We also need to constantly learn. There is no pre-qualification required as in terms of Python and all those things. And even Python, as you know, is very much like an English-like language. Can we rely on information provided by ChatGPT? Approximately, what is the percentage of factual? You can ask the question, are you sure? With Copilot, even the paid version of GPT adds spelling with mistakes sometimes in the image. No, the reason it is adding spelling with mistake, it is because to make it copyright free. Because if it picks up, it is learning from multiple images, so it has to tweak a little. If you would have seen during Navratri, there were many images of Mataji which were coming on WhatsApp, which were all AI generated. But if you would have observed it very clearly, you would have found that the nose is slightly tilted, the eyebrow is not even, because they are learning from multiple images. So with text, what happens? It can reword. With images, it won't be able to reword. It will write spelling mistakes.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I've launched the feedback poll. Everyone, please give the feedback.
Yeah. Can ChatGPT analyze the
Anyone have
full
any
project zip
questions?
files
Yeah.
and make the changes internal? It won't make. It's okay. If it is going to do everything, then we have a very common sentence, right? What will I do? Will I lose my job if Gen AI is coming over? It can analyze. You can use prompts to tell me 10 mistakes that the project file has with respect to the BRD. List it down along with page numbers. Are there messages and prompt cap per limit for Gemini 2, like the paid version of ChatGPT 4? No, for Gemini, there is no limit, but again, the output quality will get compromised, Vishwanath. Right? And remember, just anytime you feel that the chat GPT or Gemini or Copilot is not giving you answers, it is because just like the way I confused you guys in the beginning, asking you 10 questions at a go, it also got confused. It's not that you don't have a good listening skills. It's just that it were too much of information for it to process. So take one step at a time and always ask. If you have any questions, please ask me. Then it will list. If you don't say no, then it, like a kid, it will say, you never said that I should come back home at 4 o'clock. So it will go ahead and answer something. How can you use ChatGPT for our research to find relevant set of companies who are connected to do the business? You have to go for the paid version, Jitin. You will get along with reference links. And I feel, see, personally, earlier, till honestly speaking, till before 4 months, I was only using the free version of ChatGPT because I was always, whenever I used to talk to somebody, they'll say, Kya, it is giving me the answer, no, so it's okay. But I saw the magic of the paid version when I went ahead and I thought, okay, let me spend that 2000 rupees per month. Think that I have appointed an assistant, and I went for the paid version and I was surprised. I can upload my documents, it can read it. I can upload image, it can read the image, draft a conversation for me and do everything. So for you, Jitin, I think you should upgrade. Go for 1 month. Later on, you can cancel at any point of time. If you cancel after 15 days, that is also okay. So you can that, and they're very good. So at the beginning, means when I started off teaching prompt engineering, I was also, so when we go into an in-depth course, we also go for APIs. right? So for every prompt I ask through Excel and PowerPoint and all, I get charged 0.001 cent. So I gave my credit card and I was thinking, okay, I'm little skeptical because it's a US based company. I'm sitting here. If it says that you have generated thousands of prompts, what will I do? But I went ahead and I gave it. And I was surprised that I took a full session of 4 days and I gave my APIs for free to all the participants. And my invoice, which was raised by ChatGPT, was $2.28. And it says that you had generated this because it is at the rate of so many cents per prompt, so many prompts, and it gave a very clear breakup. So they're very transparent in billing. Don't get it doesn't get it. So Rohit, for that you will have to give me the prompt, and then or you can reach out to me, and I will be happy to help you out. You can reach out to Srikanth, and he can help us connect. Right. And there are more than 200 participants. I would request all of you to participate in the poll, and I think around only 75 have responded to the poll. Right. It's a completely anonymous poll, so don't worry. And it's
Yeah.
more so just like the way ChatGPT needs feedback, even I need feedback. Okay, are there any questions in Q&A? Let me purpose and context. What is the main component of a good prompt? Nageshwar, the main component of a good prompt is to keep it simple, clear, adding the context, and giving feedback. What is the limitation of ChatGPT? The free version, you will not be able to access any links. And if the prompt is too big, it will get confused. Is Copilot, ChatGPT, Gemini are same or have any difference? What is the difference between Maruti Etica, Honda City, and Hyundai? What is the new car that is there? Duster. These are different brands, right? They are all cars. They all can, but people who are comfortable using Maruti will use Maruti. Who are comfortable using Honda will use Honda, and who are comfortable using Hyundai, they'll use Hyundai. So Yogeshwar, I think you got your answer. These are all different brands: OpenAI, Microsoft, and Google. How can we use ChatGPT for our research to find relevant set of companies and with whom you can connect? So Jitin, I have already answered this question. You will have to go for the paid version of ChatGPT. Is there any tutorial link here to more in-depth for prompt engineering? Yes, there is a lot of courses that are available, but I think you can learn with the help of prompt only. Most of the times, ChatGPT language is sophisticated, wherein we need same email message to everyone. The good chance the receiver will know. That is where you will change the language a little bit. You will not copy paste it. How to tone down the language to generic Indian. Yeah, so very good. You will just have to come here and say, right, generic email in the tone of an Indian of age 34 years. And loves speaking English. The email topic is. So I can just ask it. I'm changing the tone and I'm saying keep the email friendly tone. The topic is enjoy your Friday, right? And I have just added some things, and you'll feel that it is Friday vibes are always better than a bit of chai, right? So you will have to add some context. An Indian of age 34, I can even add that rewrite in a tone of a girl sending email to her colleagues. So flowers and all have changed, right? Can't wait to hear about your weekend plans on Monday. It will, so you know, right? There is a different tone for everyone. Or write as a boss to the team members. Let me just see where is the Q&A gone. Okay. Most of the time, ChatGPT language is sophisticated. Yeah. So I think you have got the answer to your question, and all of them have been answered. step by step. Okay, have I missed any questions? Because from the list which I see here, I think I have answered all of it.
Yes, ma'am. I think that's it. We've
Okay.
answered all the questions. So I request everyone to please submit your feedback. And yeah, I think we can wrap up the session. Thank you all for joining today's session. And a big thanks to Dimple Sangvi for our invaluable insights and practical tips on using AI tools and ChatGPT more effectively. We hope you
Thank
find this
you.
session useful and are excited to apply these skills in your work. So, yeah, thank you.